Do you also know this feeling? An urge to go to your airport and fly to distant places? I do have that feeling all the time, and I love to fly. There is a world out there to be explored. This particular trip I call Three World Beaches, as it took me from Germany to Copacabana, Rio de Janeiro, South Beach, Miami, and Waikiki Beach in Honolulu. Now again on one of these trips. I'm here in South Beach, Miami. Just had my Long Island iced tea and some very good seafood. And yesterday at this very hour I was on top of the hill overlooking Rio de Janeiro, right there at this Cristo monument. And tomorrow evening, if things continue to go well, I will be arriving in Honolulu. I completed this trip in 7 days, so obviously I spent many hours on planes and at airports. Welcome at It's Never Too Far Away. The first day went basically by to get out of Europe. A good option to get to Brazil was LATAM Airlines out of London, but the ticket actually starting in Zurich. And the best option to get to Zurich was a connection via Vienna. A big highlight, of course, was to board that long flight which took me down to Sao Paulo. Morning of day 2, and so excited to be boarding the next flight. A short domestic connection to Rio de Janeiro. My time in Rio was between arrival at 10:30 in the morning and departure at 8 p.m. that same day in the evening. I decided to go up on the hill on which the Cristo statue is towering over the city, because from there I could enjoy the best views and see both Copacabana and also Ipanema beaches from the distance. I admit that this decision was also taking my security concerns into consideration, as I was traveling alone and with my carry-on baggage clearly identifiable as a tourist. Big moment. Arrival in Rio. And wow, right there, just steps away from Santos Dumont Domestic Airport, I could see Sugarloaf and Corcovado with Cristo on top. For sure, that was one exciting moment, as Rio had been on my list for such a long time. I took a taxi to the base station of Corcovado train. Tickets are best purchased in advance as preparation of the trip. On the top, it was so full of people. But that did not bother. The moment being at this iconic place was simply magic. Hi, this is stop 1 of my trip to the 3 beaches. Copacabana Beach, but also Ipanema Beach are visible from up here, plus the rest of the city, also the Sugarloaf. This is so much more worth than coming just to the beach that is part of my trip. I spent several fabulous hours there and then descended back down, found a taxi which took me back to the airport. It was again a short domestic flight back to Sao Paulo, from where I had a ticket for an overnight connection to Miami on Copa Airlines, Panama. It was just at sunrise on day 3 that I reached Panama City, from where the flight time to Miami was now only 2.5 hours more. The flight was totally great, as it crossed the entire Caribbean from south to north. The approach offered views of my next destination, South Beach, and of downtown Miami. Arrival at another destination, another one of these great moments. Arrival time was perfect for taking lunch. A taxi took me to South Beach, passing by the impressive quay of several cruise ships. I had truly reached Miami. Setting a foot on Ocean Drive felt so unreal, given that I had just been looking down to the stunning view of Rio de Janeiro, what felt like just moments ago. Of course, I needed to also put my feet into the sand of the beach. Day 3 of my trip to 3 beaches of the world. This is Miami Beach, Florida. Standing there was such a deep moment, realizing I had just come from so far away, and tomorrow I would again be somewhere so far away from here. Finally, time to find a restaurant. I needed a drink, a fresh salad, and some serious seafood. Some more walking along Ocean Drive. Actually, it was really time to get rest. It was 2 p.m. here, but that meant it was 8 p.m. in Germany on the 3rd day of my trip, and I had not seen a bed since I had left my home. You will not hear me complain, don't get me wrong, but the next stop is a hotel room, and I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow morning I'm boarding the next flight at 5:30. passing by those ships again on the way to one of the many totally overpriced airport hotels. Next morning, breakfast in the lounge before taking United Airlines to Newark. It was day 4 and a very nice way to see a beautiful sunrise. In Newark, I had a connection to a transcontinental hop to Los Angeles. Wow, who said it never rains in Southern California? I know it is a really dry area, but on one vacation years ago, I enjoyed riding the ocean highway between San Francisco and LA, and also then there were soaking rains. Anyway, my third flight was on a United 777-200, a wide body with no in-seat screens in that particular case. Meanwhile, it had become evening, taking off through the thick clouds, heading into the darkness over the Pacific Ocean. I guess I slept for most of the way, and then the lights of Honolulu appeared. In Miami, it is now 3:30 in the morning. Here in Hawaii, it is 10:30 p.m. I'm just arriving to my hotel now in Waikiki. Tired or not, this was once again so extremely exciting, and I wanted to set a foot into the sand of Waikiki Beach right away. Late evening of day 4 of my trip. This is Waikiki Beach, Honolulu, Hawaii. I am so glad I did catch that evening atmosphere. The next day, the beach had a completely different face. I stayed near the beach area most of the day, enjoying so much. I had come from so far, and I knew time was so short. I enjoyed an early dinner and witnessed sunset. I tell you, I really could have stayed forever. I knew once the sun had gone, I would be taking a taxi straight away back to the airport. It was exciting knowing that from here, really, I had a long way home in front of me. From here, I checked in all the way back home, and it really felt strange to be in Honolulu and holding a boarding pass in your hand for a flight from Amsterdam back to Germany. But first came a red-eye service to Seattle. I had 8 hours between my flights there, and I wanted to use that time and go to the downtown area. Day 6, and again, what a beautiful sunrise just outside of the terminal. Wow, even Mount Rainier made an appearance. Now some city impressions. Again, that was quick. And now it was time to board a flight from the West Coast right back to Europe overnight. To tell you the truth, I love home, but I could have just continued and taken a flight to, let's say, Tokyo. If this doesn't sound real, I can say it doesn't feel real, but it is. And one thing you have to know, it's never too far away. As always, thanks for watching.